You gotta always think like if your mind is not right, then how you gonna do this long term? It's just working now because of momentum.
Lil Tjay recently involved in a bit of an altercation, and for a long time it wasn't clear if he'd recover or not. Luckily, his condition has improved, but that doesn't mean he's gonna be okay just yet. Doctors are still doing their best to monitor him, but as of now, he's allegedly doing better. That being said, there are still so many mysteries involved in this case. Why did this happen? And who was the unnamed accomplice in the scene? What other health problems is Lil Tjay in danger of facing? Lil Tjay is a Bronx drill rapper born back in 2001. He grew up living with his mother and 2 siblings. He described himself as the problem child out of the bunch. He ended up getting into plenty of schoolyard fights, stole, etc. Then when he was 15, things had escalated enough that he participated in a robbery. He got picked up by the police, who took him into the youth detention center, and although a lot of people would take that and let it really get to him, Lil Tjay points to that time as a formative experience. That's when he started to write raps, and even to this day, he claims that he was at his peak as a writer back then. When he was 16, he started dropping music on SoundCloud. Resume was his first big hit. 2 years later, he competed in Coast to Coast Live NYC All Ages Edition. He came in first place and got the attention of an A&R rep who was in the crowd that night. Pretty shortly after that, he dropped the track Brothers. The buzz surrounding the track was enough reason for the people at Columbia to offer him a record deal. He'd go on to release his debut EP shortly after that. He also showed up on singles by Polo G, Pretty Much, and 24K Golden. In 2020, his career truly started to blow up. He released the EP State of Emergency. It explored the world of Bronx drill, commenting on where the culture was at the time. He also managed to secure features from New York drill legends like Fivio Foreign and Pop Smoke. That same year, he was featured on XXL's 2020 freshman class. 2021 was also pretty busy for him. He put out Callin' My Phone with Black, which quickly became his most popular hit since the start of his career. In 2022, he put out a single called In My Head, a YouTube freestyle, and even announced a new EP called Strictly For My Fans. He had a huge career despite the fact that he really only took off recently. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be long into his career before he began fighting for his life. On the 22nd of June, just after midnight, multiple 911 calls were made reporting shots in Edgewater, New Jersey. Once the police arrived at the scene, they found Lil Tjay with multiple wounds. According to the Bergen County Police Department, a man by the name of Mohammed Kanate was attempted to rob Lil Tjay, Antoine Boyd, and Jeffrey Valdez when everything went down. Lil Tjay also made a post that would be chilling in hindsight, only mere hours before the whole incident. It's led people to speculate that someone closely related to Tjay set him up, or at the very least had some kind of hand in what happened. He said, PSA, just because you've been around a person doesn't make you entitled to the fruits of that person's labor. Envy is at an all-time high. Be safe out here. Boyd and Valdez were both in possession of weapons they weren't supposed to have at the time, and both of them have been taken in on unlawful weapons possessions. Prosecutor for Bergen County did, however, comment on the arrest of Kanate. He was arrested later that day on 3 charges of third-degree armed robbery and weapons charges. He had apparently quickly run down to a nearby hospital in New York after also receiving a wound of his own in the exchange. Lil Tjay was taken to the hospital as soon as the police found him, where he had emergency surgery performed. Accounts have varied since Lil Tjay has been in the hospital. Some people said that he's talking and conscious, while earlier reports have claimed that he's paralyzed and nearly brain dead. Obviously, there are drastically different outcomes. All we really know about his injuries is that he was hit multiple times in the thoracic cavity. That's the part of your chest where all your most vital organs are stored. It's also said that he had a lung collapse twice. A collapsed lung is a pretty big deal. Even though other injuries are unknown, this one is bad enough, especially if they can't keep it stable. A collapsed lung happens when the space between the lung and the wall of the chest increases, meaning the lung can inflate to its full capacity, making it much more difficult to breathe. Eventually, it can lead to shortness of breath and even low blood pressure. The doctors also have to be on the lookout for damage to the spine, which could introduce a whole new host of issues. A news post from the site by the name of Ratchet Company Media shared a headline claiming that Lil Tjay was completely brain dead. The name of the headline itself is a little bit silly. If someone is literally brain dead, that's the medical definition of death. Sure, someone can be brain dead for just a few moments and then be brought back somehow, but much longer than that, and the person in question is done for. Brain cells die incredibly quickly, without proper blood flow or oxygen. The headline itself read, "Rapper Lil Tjay reported brain dead after he was shot 7 times during armed robbery attempt." That post was quickly circulated all over social media, but at the same time, it was already of dubious origin. The post cited a post by Sandra Rose, and it also said that its source wasn't any kind of proper entity like a rep for Lil Tjay or anything like that. They sourced it entirely through what people were saying on social media, so it was kind of this weird social media feedback loop. One tweet about the whole situation said, "Another rapper shot and killed, this shit needs to stop." I was really hoping he was gonna pull through. Lil Tjay, you will definitely be missed. Lil Tjay, after his surgery, remained unconscious, but according to TMZ, there was some major movement in his legs. As the situation developed, it became apparent that he was becoming more and more responsive to stimuli. After a while, TMZ said that people familiar with Lil Tjay's situation reached out to talk more about how he was doing. They said that he's been awake, alert, and even speaking on his own. The same people also confirmed that he had recently had his breathing tube removed. After that, he's apparently speaking with the very same voice he had before the incident. Cops had tried to speak with him regarding the incident, but it's unlikely they're gonna get anything out of him. It's not like gangsters are usually in the habit of talking to cops about their lives, even if that could mean getting back at the ops who got you. The police district where everything happened came forward to make a tweet about how things were going down. They said, "Update on the investigation in Edgewater, New Jersey shooting. Per initial investigation, does not appear to be random act, and one victim upgraded from critical to stable condition. Other admitted to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries in good condition." Tons of celebrities have been reaching out to the Lil Tjay situation, wishing him well. French Montana spoke with TMZ about his condition, saying, "It's hard out here for rappers." French continued, "We got the hardest job. You don't know where it comes from, man. We think that everybody loves us, but everybody doesn't love us. I experienced that for myself because the person shot me is the one who drove me to the hospital. So your greatest threat always comes from the inside." Not all of the celebrity reactions have been positive, unfortunately. Always saying the absolute trashiest thing at any given time, 6ix9ine chimed in on a post about Lil Tjay's emergency surgery. He merely commented with 2 laughing emojis. The two of them have had beef in the past, but nothing really serious yet. They argued over who the king in New York was for a little while, and it would seem that 6ix9ine still has issues. You might be thinking that a simple beef about who's the king in New York wouldn't be enough to make fun of a guy who was critically injured, but 6ix9ine's always gonna be full of surprises, right? The dude really has no tact. That's why Zach commented back saying, "Karma always come around." Casanova also commented on the situation, basically picking on Lil Tjay for getting caught by the ops in a joking manner. He said, "Bro, you know better. Praying for you from my jail cell, little bro. You're gonna be alright. Tough times don't last. Only tough people do. And you a bad mother. When you get out, stop by the crib and pick that bulletproof up." While he's definitely poking a little bit of fun, you can tell he still obviously cares about his bro. Fans on Twitter also voiced their opinion for Lil Tjay. One fan said, "Great to see the progress. Prayers for Tjay's full recovery." Another fan said, "What that mean he's awake?" For real though, shout out to all Tjay's people. They made things way better. Glad they didn't just leave us in the dark. Another fan was cautiously optimistic, saying, "Just cause his man said he good don't mean he fully healed. If you are paralyzed one day, you can't wake up the next morning straight. That is a long time healing process." But what y'all think about all this though? Is Lil Tjay actually about to recover from all this? Even if he does, will he ever function the way he did before? What were the motivations for